Assalamu alaikum. This is Ms. Nermin Al-Alawi, the English teacher of the ninth grade in the girls section at the Innovators International Academy. This video is meant to be for the ninth grade students, and it is part of Unit 1 starting out, and it is about the grammar, the modal verbs. Now in Unit 1 you have four of the modal verbs: has or have to, doesn't have to or don't have to, can and can't. Now, before starting with the modal verbs, let me remind you that all the modal verbs are followed by infinitive verbs. So if you want to make a sentence that has a modal verb, we have to start with the subject, the modal verb, and an infinitive verb. Now, each one of the modal verbs we are going to discuss will give us a certain meaning that is different from the other modal verbs. Let's start with the first modal verbs, which are has to and have to. Now, has to and have to give us the meaning of the obligation, or we can say that they have the meaning of must. So, when we put have to and has to in a sentence, it means that you must do something because it might be a law or a rule. So, it gives the obligation meaning. بمعنى الالتزام أو الإجبار أو الاضطرار. So, for example, you have to wear the uniform when you go to school, or Ahmad has to wear the uniform when he goes to school. Now, in both sentences, we have the subject here, you, we have the modal verb have to, and the infinitive verb wear. In the second sentence, we have subject Ahmad has to as a modal verb and wear the infinitive verb. Both sentences mean that you or Ahmad must wear the uniform when going to school. بمعنى بأنك ملزم أو أحمد ملزم بارتداء الزي عند الذهاب إلى المدرسة. So, has to and have to give us the meaning of must. Now, please remember that we use has to or have to according to the subject. If the subject is he, she, it, or one of the singular nouns, we use has to plus the infinitive verb. If the subject is they, we, you, I, or one of the plural nouns, we use have to plus the infinitive verb. So again, we use has to and have to say that we must do something or we are obliged to do something ملزمين أو مجبرين لعمل شيء معين. Now the second modal verb is don't have to or might come as doesn't have to plus the infinitive verb. Now that modal verb means that it is not necessary to do something or you don't need to do something. Let's take an example. I don't have to wear a jacket. It is not very cold outside. Or she doesn't have to wear a jacket. It is not very cold outside. Now, in both sentences, we have the meaning that I don't need to wear a jacket, or it is not necessary for me to wear a jacket because it's not cold outside. So both sentences have the meaning that it is not necessary to do something or we don't need to do something. بمعنى من غير الضروري فعل شيء معين. And again, here we have to remember that we use doesn't have to when the subject is he, she, or it, or one of the singular nouns, and we use don't have to when the subject is they, we, you, I, or one of the plural nouns. Now we have the third modal verb, which is can. We use can to say that it is a good idea to do something or it is my advice to you to do something. بمعنى تقديم نصيحة أو اقتراح. For example, you can postpone the meeting if you feel tired. Now, that sentence means that it is a good idea to postpone the meeting, or it is my advice to you to postpone the meeting if you feel tired. So here we don't have obligation. ما في عنا إجبار أو إلزام لفعل الفعل أو فعل التأجيل. لكن هون عنا تقديم نصيحة أو رؤية إنه هذا الإشي هو عبارة عن فكرة جيدة بإمكان بالإمكان فعلها. And finally, we have the fourth modal verb, which is can't. Now, can't means it is not allowed to do something or it is wrong to do something. For example, you can't or cannot smoke in a non smoking area. Now, that sentence means that it is wrong to smoke or you are not allowed غير المسموح لك to smoke in a non smoking area. That was all for our lesson today. I hope it was easy and clear. Thank you for watching.